Welcome to another Hips News broadcast. We're your guide. This is Vessel 1,
Vessel 2?
and we're here to bring you things that you might not see that's hidden in plain sight. But, I mean, people, again, do things for greediness and other reasons behind it. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Mm.
And then there's no recourse for all of this craziness that's happening.
Yeah.
The people are silent, and they're willingly lining up, follow instructions that shouldn't make any sense to them at all. And they have no questioning to try to make sense of what they've been asked to do.
Well, again, we're coming full circle. I mean, that's the biggest thing of ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing. If you go and take a so-called shot, vaccine, or a jab in the arm, and then 2 or 3 days later, people are getting sick, having blood clots, or magnets sticking to your arm. There should be a lot of questions that should be coming forth now. Like, hey, wait a minute, you know.
A lot of people just think, that's conspiracy theory.
But again,
that's too far off center. No one's really trying to be on center, but it's too far off center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell people. I mean, I don't say that those who have taken the vaccine shouldn't have. It's their choice.
Right.
It's not me to determine whether or not they should take it. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop so we can find out what is the penalty for not taking it.
Or better yet, what is the penalty for taking it and not doing your research and finding out what it actually does to the body?
Yeah, we gotta wait that out. I mean, no one seems to know that, so that is something that has to rest on their minds heavily after taking the vaccines. I've heard some people say, they've taken it and so far so good. And they don't worry about it. I was listening to the Carl Nelson show, and one brother called in, and he's prior military, and he was saying that, when he joined the military, went to boot camp, he stood in a long line, and they just started vaccinating people. And long story short, he took the vaccination. He's taken his vaccination, and he said that he doesn't see that the government will gain anything by giving people any type of poison. So his trust in the vaccine is solid, and he stands on the square. So I salute him. It's like, okay, that's his choice. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't think that, for me, I'm going to stem that line too soon. I choose to wait and try to see what happens, at least a year or two. But as it stands now, the delay of getting the vaccines here in Japan, I believe we might not get the vaccine for a while anyway.
Yeah, it's going to go to India first. India is that's what they're. That was one of the things that where did I see this at? It was, or maybe I read it. I don't have the source in front of me at this moment, but it was saying that India was the modern We Are the World. And so now everybody is trying to jump on the bandwagon to send support, food, machine, respirators, and vaccines to them as soon as possible.
That's fine and dandy, but if they don't get their hygiene under control, none of that's going to work.
Well, this is the thing that they haven't spoke about. The reason why they're in such dire trouble could it be standards are not up to par? But this is something that they don't speak about. A lot of times, that's how they do. They only tell you one side of the story, and you don't know the full story.
I've never been to India, and I can't personally say from my own experience how India is, but from what I've heard, and it seems like everybody that I've ever talked to, there is a hygiene problem, and their sanitation is not up to par. So I think that's globally known. Do we have to speak on it? I don't think so, because you can see what's going on there now. So now is the time to do something to help themselves and invest what they can once the vaccine and the virus numbers go down.
Well, they should focus on, yes, getting things properly hygienic or up to par where.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I understand fully. You want to worship the cow. I get that. But clean up after the cow. You just can't have mountains of cow dung on the streets and you got to walk past the cow dung every day. Little kids is playing close to cow dung. Come on. All this technology coming out of that country, they can't come together some way and get their government to help them with that situation?
Well,
I don't understand.
Yeah, well,
but I've never been, so I'm not knocking, I'm not criticizing to the point where I can validly say for myself that I've seen it. But if that is the case, then I think that the president, after all of this is done, the president should be sat down and talked to, and things should be worked out to where he can have his country with some type of support, as they're doing now, to where he can clean up his country. You just can't live like that and expect things to be okay in the long run. I mean, it's got to be some way the people can do for themselves.
Well, I mean, he's the commander in chief. He should be doing. I mean, well, again, I don't know if it's a religious thing. Maybe it's not meant for you to touch it. I don't know, man.
I don't know either, but I mean, come on, man. You don't have that in the middle of the streets.
Yeah.
It happened in America when they were riding horses, and know the stories where the streets were flooded with cow manure. But America didn't stay like that, and I'm pretty sure sooner or later they was some type of street sweepers out there sweeping up the cow manure.
Yeah, basically it is a street. Yeah, you had to. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's where the term comes from.
Street cleaner.
So yeah, I just feel like, okay, now is the time for you to do better. And if any country can see the flaws, then as this great reset is here, either you're going to do good or you're going to do bad.
Yeah, that's correct.
Period.
I agree. Well, maybe they're waiting for the aliens to come from the moon.
Anything is possible at this point.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to cut over to in the local community. It's our duty to try to at least get it out there and people to know about it.
Not a difficult task at all.
Especially now, COVID, that's even more so.
These crimes, it does not have COVID is a worry, because these crimes are getting, it seems to be...
They are all personal crimes, aren't they?
Right? It's, you're in close vicinity to these people and you're within sneezing range, right?
Mm.
And if this virus was supposed to be so deadly that, we need to be in lockdown, then how are these crimes being committed? And then when they're arrested, you don't hear any information about whether they're COVID-19 positive or not.
That's the truth.
Right? I'm pretty sure a lot of these prosecutions that don't go through is because it could be, related to the virus. But it's a lot of information that seems to be missing surrounding the lockdowns, as you said earlier, but also with the news regarding the virus and what happens. For example, if you get the virus, you go to the hospital and you're released. Are you supplied with medicine? Are you monitored after that? Do you have to go back to the hospital to get further checkups? There's no information that tells us what we should be preparing for, or if there's any preparation that we can be doing.
Well, that's our job to put it out there and have the community listen and chime in and subscribe and comment in the comments below and let us know how they feel and what's going on. That's important. But I mean, yeah, like you said, these crimes or these incidents that's happening, they seem more of on a personal vendetta or a personal level of attacks, and it's really kind of interesting to say the least, especially during a so-called quote unquote pandemic when there's a virus or so-called virus or disease that's out there that's supposed to kill you or
Right.
potentially can kill you. But I mean, because there's a lot of incidents where couples are fighting, or there's parents or women accusing of killing their children. Women accused of throwing newborn out of apartment window did not attend to did not attend to kill. That's what the woman had the nerve to say. I wasn't but she just got fed up and just threw it out the window. She thought it was a doll. That's that again. Things like that. It's just how bad is bad, and this kind of stuff. As long as we've been here, it has been some crazy stuff. And killing kids and beating up the husband. Well, I mean, husband and wife. Domestic violence has creeped up recently, but it's been more murders than it has been suicides. Have you noticed that?
Well, I know the suicide number is high,
Yeah.
and I haven't heard any more information on if the number is still steadily rising. But yeah, you're right. There has been a lot of murders, and some of it has been murder suicide. A majority of it has been murder suicide.
Yeah, I think more murder homicide than suicide. Well, I mean, there have been people taking their life after they committed a crime or murder, but it's a lot of this stuff is crazy. Like another good example, Osaka man accused of injuring wife with car after leaving love hotel with another woman. What's that about? That happened on April 30th, though. But I mean,
Okay.
wow, I mean, we in the midst of a pandemic and a lockdown. This guy, he injuring his wife with the car. He hits her, and as he leaves the hotel, love hotel, with another woman. I caught you. No, you didn't. Boom.
Yeah.
Run her down.
They made a steal.
You know what I'm saying? Taxi driver.
You might have caught me, but you ain't made a steal. That's the message.
Crazy.
Oh man, yeah, that's wild. And then you can sue here for
Right. Adultery.
adultery, right? So can you imagine what the lady in the car is going through in her mind? Oh my God!
She probably was
Not
saying.
only
She probably
Yeah.
was telling the killer, kill her. Make sure you hit her. I don't want this to come back on me. I don't want. Probably, think about it, right? I don't want this to come back on
Uh,
me. Get her well, saying we don't supposed to be out here anyway.
anyway, yeah, yeah. Did you make sure she did?
I mean, it's nothing. It's of course it's just throwing little puns out, but it's nothing to really laugh about. But it is. You have no choice but to kind of try to find the humor in the madness of it all.
Yeah, or you will drive yourself crazy.
If you're gonna do something during a time of a pandemic, you want to try to do something in contact with people. Like this one article, it says Torre dismiss employee over 250 million embezzlement. So if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it that way. Steal the money quietly or try to get away quietly without anybody knowing. At least he's not dealing with people.
Right. Yeah, but I don't know. Uh,
Damn.
things are only going to get worse.
As the days get hotter, so
Yep.
will the crimes. The crimes will get
I
high.
think this summertime is going to be off the chain.
Yeah, it will be.
Yep.
This is wild. Man suspected of fatal stabbing woman in apartment before starting fire on floor below.
That's crazy too.
Think about it. It's like, wow. I mean, you couldn't even.
Stab somebody and then set the room on fire
Yeah, the floor below on fire.
below.
Yeah.
The
Basically,
headlights.
yeah. Officer entered the residence of a woman, age 20, on the third floor and found her corpse face down on top of a bed. The woman who suffered stab wounds was later confirmed dead at the hospital, police said. The man, age 40, lives on the second floor. Police later entered his residence and found him collapsed amid the ruins of the fire. He was confirmed dead at the scene.
So that's murder suicide,
Yeah, that's a murder suicide.
right?
Yeah. The residence of the woman was directly above the man. Police said that the emergency ladder connected their balconies had been pulled down. So he went upstairs, chop, 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 stabbed her, maybe raped her. They don't say it was rape, but it said she was found face down, and then he goes downstairs and burn himself up. So murder suicide.
Wow. Yeah, this summertime is crazy, especially if it's a lockdown period and they can't drink. Oh my God.
I I feel sorry for the people who live next door to these people, or who live. How they gonna try to sell this apartment after they clean it up?
No, it's short-term memory. As soon as they make it look nice, take out the smell. Somebody, ain't nobody gonna know if they don't remember.
It's in Osaka though.
Yeah, especially if if um, if you're not watching the news
Yeah.
and none of this stuff gets talked about. So I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna be that difficult to get a new person to that place. It might take a little while.
Yeah, it's crazy. Here you go. Drunk man wanders along Yamanote line tracks after breaking up with his girlfriend.
Oh wow!
Mm.
You get hit by a train.
It said, this is what it says. It says, breaking up is hard to do, and it was definitely the case of an intoxicated man in Minato Ward on Friday. As the Yomiuri Shimbun, April 9th, tells the man, age of 30, wandered several hundred meters along the tracks of the JR Yamanote line between Shimbashi and Hamatsuchu stations around 8:10 a.m. East Japanese Railroad employees then apprehended him and alerted to the police. No, he didn't get run over, but they after breaking up with my girlfriend, I drank beer at Shinagawa Station this morning. He told the Agato police station. I became desperate and wanted to die, so I jumped onto the tracks at Shimbashi Station.
That's a tough situation, but I'm glad he didn't get hit by a train.
Now, in retrospect, he lucky that he didn't get hit.
Yeah, he can go to soap land until he finds somebody new.
It's kind of wonderful to break up with your girlfriend and start drinking at 8:10 in the morning.
Right. He didn't have nowhere to be anyway.
This is a wild one. I'll probably leave it after this. Tokyo court orders woman to pay man over lesbian affair with his wife.
Mm. Yeah, I read that.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that he approved of them knowing each other, but he didn't approve of them having a sexual relationship.
It says, though the same sex infidelity is rare, the ruling is not a first. Last year, the Tokyo High Court ordered a woman to pay compensation to her female partner for adultery. The court said that the actions of the defendant harmed their relationship, ruling a same sex relationship is the same as marriage. So, AI having sex with a robot don't seem all that bad, is it?
I believe the sales of these sex dolls are probably higher than ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, they're not gonna tell if you cheat
Right? And they'll be quiet.
for now until they become aware. They might
You know,
stab you.
you might be able to keep them on mute.
For now. Uh,
They, you might not be able to control the listening, but you might be able to keep them on mute.
We at Hips News would like to thank all our listeners, subscribers, and please feel free to comment below and let us know what you're thinking, how you feel, and interesting topics you would like for us to cover. Thank you. See you next Wednesday. And that will wrap it up today on another episode of Hips News. And don't forget, tune in every Wednesday around the same time for another great episode. And this is from Vessel 1.
Vessel 2 signing off. Make sure everybody that listened in, please let us know. Give us some feedback. If there's any topics you want us to cover, make sure you send us that in a detailed or not so detailed email. Until next time, take care. Be safe.
Peace.